What if I told you that most people who think they're fasting have never even scratched the surface of what fasting actually is? There are 7 distinct levels, and the higher you climb, the more your body does something almost unbelievable. Most people quit at level 2. Some ambitious ones make it to level 4. But level 6, that's where the body enters a state that scientists are only beginning to understand. And level 7, well, only a handful of humans on the planet have ever intentionally gone there. Stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand and what your body is truly capable of. Let's start at the very beginning, because level 1 is where almost everyone lives without even realizing it. Level 1 is called the fed to fasted transition. This is the 12-hour mark. When you finish dinner and skip the late-night snacking and wake up without immediately eating, you've done level 1. Your insulin levels begin to drop. Your body starts shifting from burning glucose to considering fat as a fuel source. This is entry-level fasting. Millions of people accidentally do this. But here's the thing. At this stage, your body hasn't committed to anything yet. It's like a car with the engine warming up. You've started the process, but nothing dramatic has happened yet. Most people eat breakfast and immediately shut this process down before it gains any real momentum. Now level 2 is where people start intentionally fasting for the first time. Level 2 kicks in between 12 and 18 hours. This is the zone that intermittent fasting influencers love to talk about. Your insulin is significantly lower. Your body is now actively burning fat for fuel, and something called ketogenesis begins to flicker on. Your liver starts producing ketone bodies, which are an alternative fuel source for your brain. Mentally, people report a surprising clarity here. The brain fog lifts, focus sharpens, and a lot of people feel genuinely good at this stage, sometimes better than they've felt all day. Level 2 is where most intentional fasters live permanently, cycling in and out every single day. And while that has real benefits, what comes next is where things get genuinely interesting. Here's something most fasting guides will never tell you about level 3, and it's the most misunderstood stage of all. Level 3 begins around the 24-hour mark. This is where autophagy switches on in a meaningful way. Autophagy is your body's internal recycling system. It breaks down damaged, dysfunctional cellular components and either eliminates them or repurposes the materials. Think of it like your body running a deep cleaning cycle on every cell simultaneously. Yoshinori Ohsumi won the Nobel Prize in Physiology specifically for his research on this mechanism. This is no fringe science. This is one of the most important biological processes ever discovered. At 24 hours, your body starts dismantling old proteins, clearing out cellular debris, and upgrading its own infrastructure. Most people never reach this level because hunger, social pressure, and habit pull them back before they get here. Level 4 starts at 48 hours, and this is where your body does something most people find shocking. At 48 hours, human growth hormone levels can surge dramatically. Some research suggests levels rise by several 100% during extended fasting periods. Growth hormone is responsible for tissue repair, muscle maintenance, and metabolic regulation. Your body is essentially trying to protect and preserve itself during resource scarcity. At this stage, ketosis is now deep and consistent. Your brain is running almost entirely on ketones. People at level 4 often describe a profound mental clarity, almost euphoric focus, and a complete absence of hunger. That counterintuitive disappearance of appetite happens because the hunger hormone ghrelin actually decreases after the initial surge during early fasting. Your body adapts. It gets serious about surviving without food, and in doing so, it starts performing optimally in ways it simply cannot when constantly fed. Now stop for 1 second, because what I'm about to tell you about level 5 will completely change how you think about hunger. Level 5 is the 72-hour mark. 3 full days without food. At this point, your body has essentially completed a significant metabolic reset. stem cell regeneration begins to activate more aggressively. Research from the University of Southern California, led by Walter Longo, showed that prolonged fasting could trigger the regeneration of immune system components. Your body starts breaking down old immune cells and generating new ones. This is not metaphorical cleansing. This is measurable, biological renewal. Inflammation markers decrease. Cellular repair mechanisms are working at full capacity. And perhaps most fascinatingly, people who fast to this level frequently report a deep sense of emotional stillness and mental clarity that they describe as unlike anything they experience in regular life. The psychological experience of level 5 is as remarkable as the physical one. But almost nobody ever reaches level 6, and here's exactly why it matters. Level 6 begins around the 5 to 7 day mark. This is the territory of therapeutic fasting, a practice with roots in ancient medical traditions now being revisited by modern researchers. At this point, the body has exhausted much of its glycogen stores and has been running on deep ketosis for days. The regenerative processes that flickered on at earlier levels are now operating at maximum intensity. In clinical research settings, extended fasting at this range has been explored for its potential connection to reducing inflammation associated with certain autoimmune conditions and metabolic diseases. The cellular environment has been fundamentally altered. Old, dysfunctional cells have been cleared away in massive numbers. Mitochondrial efficiency increases. The body is essentially running a complete operating system update. Most people never reach this level, not because they physically cannot, but because the psychological barriers, the social environment, the fear, and the lack of proper preparation make it feel impossible. The ones who do reach level 6, under proper supervision and preparation, often describe it as a life-altering reset. And then there's level 7. Most people have never even heard of this one. Level 7 is extended therapeutic fasting beyond 7 days, sometimes reaching 14 or even 21 days in medically supervised environments. The longest medically documented fast in history lasted 382 days. A man in Scotland completed this under medical supervision in the 1960s, consuming only water and vitamin supplements while losing a significant amount of weight and reportedly maintaining it for years afterward. At level 7, the body enters states of metabolic adaptation that researchers are still working to fully understand. The gut essentially rests and begins structural repair. Neurological changes occur that some researchers believe may have lasting effects on stress regulation and cognitive function. This level is not something anyone should attempt without serious medical oversight. The risks at this stage are real and significant if approached carelessly. Now here's the part most people skip, and it's the most important thing in this entire video. Knowing the levels isn't enough. What actually matters is understanding where you currently operate and making a deliberate, intelligent decision about where you want to go. For most people, consistently reaching level 2 or 3 produces profound, measurable health benefits. For others, with specific health goals and proper medical guidance, exploring levels 4 and 5 under careful conditions can create transformation they've never experienced. The point is not to race to the highest level. The point is to understand that fasting is not a single thing. It's a spectrum. And most of the conversation happening online is stuck talking about the first 2 floors of a 7-story building. Your body has capabilities that most modern lifestyles never allow it to express. Every time you stay in the fed state, constantly supplying calories, you are preventing these deeper mechanisms from ever activating. The science is clear. The biology is there. The question is simply whether you're curious enough to explore it responsibly.